It was quite a sunny afternoon in early June. I got in the car, went to pick up my friends Colin, Steve, Frank, and Chad. We all had our camping gear. Reason being is because that evening we were heading up to Pennsylvania to do a little backpacking overnighter in Michaud State Forest. But people like Steve and Frank, as you could expect, were going pretty minimalist. Steve only had a drawstring bag with a Bluetooth speaker, a Monster Energy, his Geek Bar vape, and a bag of Takis. Frank, you already know, had the two jumbo-sized camp chairs slung over his shoulders.
It's time to go on an adventure! Buzzman, the fuck you know about adventure, bitch? Your boy gonna be swinging on these vines just like Indiana Jones, and then I'll be swinging on my bitches.
Hey, Steve, I don't know if we'll be finding any of that up there, but we'll see, said Colin. Anyway, enough of that. We hit the road and arrived at Pine Grove Furnace State Park, which was in the forest that we were going to. And around 3 that afternoon, we arrived. But there was a bit of a catch. The gravel parking lot at which we were at, the park at which we were at, was only open from sunrise to sunset, and you had to park your car there overnight. But to do that, you needed to head up to the office and register your license plate number. And so, Colin and I took the honor of doing just that, Alright, Steve, Frank, Chad, y'all wait here and hold down the fort, or we're going to go and register the car.
Sounds good, Bruce,
said Chad. Colin and I go and walk up the little hill and then off to the right before the road down a little bit, where we find the infamous Appalachian Trail Museum. Though I said it was all infamous, it was kind of run down, a dirty building. It was an old house, actually from the 1800s, made out of dirty white brick, and it had moss growing on the roof, but I guess it fit the old forest vibe, if that's what you want to call it. Anyway, we head inside, and in the museum there was a bunch of old maps and hiking gear, antique stuff. Just then, the museum Appalachian master came to greet us.
Good afternoon, boys. What a fine day for the trail now, isn't it?
Oh, no. What the fuck are you doing here, man? Said Colin. It was the creepy clerk. We had no idea how in the world he knew that we'd be up in Michaud State Forest that day, though something told me that it was through hiker season. I'm sure he always found a way to pick up some extra cash with the heavy hiker traffic, but still, how the fuck did you know he'd be up here today? I demanded.
Oh, boys, hiking's always been a creepy clerk tradition for lots of years now. My old pops actually hiked the Appalachian Trail, Georgia to Maine, and I figured, may as well, my knees may be a little shaky now in my old age, but that doesn't mean I still can't pick up the essence of the woods. And speaking of the woods, I got the essence of the wood, if you know what I mean, boys.
Oh, no. Man, listen, okay? Whatever this essence of the wood is, we are not down with it, alright? Listen, we're camping in the woods tonight on the Appalachian Trail. We just came up here to register our vehicle so we can leave our car parked overnight. Got it?
Oh, don't worry, boys. I can make that happen. But I will say, you boys might want to go camping out there wisely. Like I said, it is through hiking season, and I got a close. My hiking mentee. He's actually out through hiking these parts right now. Maybe you boys can link up. He can give you all some tips and tricks of the woody woods. I call him the chief through hiker.
We didn't really take what the creepy clerk said very seriously. We definitely didn't know this guy had any mentees, whatever the fuck that meant. I'd call him chief, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, the creepy clerk wrote us a little slip in chicken scratch handwriting. We took it and left the Appalachian Trail Museum as he stared us down with those same creepy eyes. But yeah, we try to forget about it. We don't want to entertain any creepy thoughts, especially whilst camping out in the deep woods. Anyway, back at the parking lot, we put the paper slip in our windshield, and after that, we got to hiking. But not before Frank goes and takes a shit in the outhouse. Anyway, the weather was beautiful, but kind of buggy, a little humid, and the mosquitoes were terrible. So, Colin, Chad, and I made sure to wear long pants so as to avoid the ticks. We were walking on a gravel path as of the meantime, adjacent to the creek on our left, and soon we came across an intersection where the Appalachian Trail branched off to the right. And like I said, the creek was to our left, and the mountain or the hill was to our right, which is where the Appalachian Trail went. Colin and I were about to take said right, but Chad stopped us.
Oh, Bruce, my pops and I, back in the Boy Scouts, would always go camping back in the day, and he taught me lots of very valuable survival skills as he was at it. And he said, should always stay near a reliable water source for maximum comfort.
Fine, Chad. I mean, what the fuck do you mean there's not even any campsites here? The fuck you talking about? Listen, Chad, no. We're gonna camp on the Appalachian Trail as intended, and that's final.
Okay, Bruce, I guess,
Chad said in a condescending tone of voice. Anyway, we take a break for water before beginning our ascent up the Appalachian Trail northbound, and we knew that there'd be some water sources up there. There'd be some springs and a trail shelter too, so we get hiking for a bit. Let's just say that people like Chad and Frank were definitely struggling up that hill.
Shut your bitch ass up, Buzzman. Nobody want to hear your fat ass.
After hiking for about 15 more minutes, we got to the top of a hill, and we found one of those trail shelters. We couldn't really see the inside of it yet due to us facing the back wall and the exterior, but we could certainly hear something. It was the sound of an old-timey banjo. I'm not going to imitate it, but I'm sure you know how they sound. It was like the old folklore music from the Appalachian Trail back in the day. Hey, is anyone in there? I ask. The banjo keeps on playing. I guess it's not that big of a deal anyway, said Colin. And so we all walk around to the front of the shelter to see who is playing the banjo. We were intending on camping there that night, as it did happen to be near a water source, so I wanted to make sure that the person in there didn't mind us setting up shop. Though, when we rounded that corner, we were not expecting what we were about to find. Herbert, Ernie! Oh, no. Just don't... Herbert, no, seriously, what the fuck are you out here for?
See, boys, my mammy said that I've been playing too much Marvel Rivals, and for that, I would say, what better way to get up off the couch and give some purpose in my life than to through hike the Appalachian Trail. You know, boys, after thousands of miles, I came all the way from Georgia, and I'm off to Maine. I will be spending the night camping in the shelter, but I'm sure we can always accommodate some special boys, of course.
Oh, no, Herbert, cut the fucking bullshit. You did not hike here from Georgia. There is no way on earth that you just happen to be here at the exact same day and the exact same time that we do. Tell us the real reason you're up here, or I'm gonna call the park ranger.
Oh, no need for the park ranger, boys. You know, it's been a long day of hiking, and I figured, what better way to soak in the nature when you get on your wild side than celebrate, because you know, boys, tomorrow is National Hike Naked Day. Of course, the goody-goodies are always very excited for that.
Okay, Herbert, no. National Hiking Naked Day is not a thing. I'm gonna call the real cops on you if you take this any further, okay? But then Colin decided to intervene. Guys, let's just leave him alone and get out of here. We'll find somewhere else to camp.
Oh, I think that'd be a good idea, Bruce. I'm getting pretty creepy vibes up here.
So we turn around the way we came from, back down the hill. Herbert just gazed at us with a chubby, cheesy grin on his greasy face, banjo still playing the whole time, even whilst he was talking to us. So yeah, we really didn't give him any more of our attention. We're starting to learn our lesson at that point, that the more attention you feed this guy, the more he gets into your head. It's like a game on the chessboard that we were finally being able to crack. Anyway, we hiked back down the hill we came from, back towards the creek we walked along earlier. Well, Chad, you said you wanted to camp here earlier. Seems like you're getting what you want.
Yippee, Bruce, he said.
We figured that camping by the creek was going to be our best option at that point, as it was getting kind of late, and we needed to cook dinner and set up camp still. However, we needed to be smart, based on the two people we ran into back at those two separate locations, one from the Appalachian Trail Museum, and two up at the trail shelter back up the hill. Okay, guys, I think now would be the perfect time to go stealth camping, said Colin. I was completely on board. Steve was ecstatic.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. That's the kind of shit your boy likes to hear. I haven't scaled camp like this since my whole life.
And so we took a little side trail towards the creek and off into some bushes. Next, we had to cross some rocks and logs to get to the side of the creek, which people like Chad definitely took a sweet time on. Meanwhile, Frank waded right through the water.
I'm going swimming, he said with glee.
Frank, I hope you bought an extra change of clothes, or you're going to be soaking wet tonight, I said, though we knew that Frank did not have an extra change of clothes. Anyway, long story short, we ended up setting up camp in a dense thicket of bushes that was tucked right along the river. Honestly, it was a pretty nice spot. We even had our own little private rock bank where we could make a campfire on later, with some nice trees forming a little dome over us. I set up my hammock, and Colin set up his tents. Steve opted to go primal mode and arched his back over a jagged boulder. Of course, Frank just plopped in his 2 jumbo-sized camp chairs. Next, we all made dinner, and after that, we got a little campfire going on the rock bank next to the creek. At that point, the sun was setting, and the vibe, top-notch. Like, immaculate. I'm telling you, just a campfire on your own private riverbank. Got the nighttime crickets, some owls, mad fireflies out. Just one of those feelings that you really can't replicate, you know? So we're all having a good time, stay up pretty late, just chatting, drinking by the fire. But soon enough, we ran out of firewood. And so after that, we figured that it may as well be time to get some shut-eye. I was pretty tired and was looking forward to chilling in my hammock. Let's just say I fell asleep instantly that night, being so worn out from the day's adversaries. We don't want to think about that anyway. But next thing I knew, I was waking up at what I thought to be some wee hour of the morning, like 1 a.m. or something. And I was very confused. I was super groggy. Am I on the ground? I thought to myself. I really thought that I'd set my hammock up properly. I guess the hammock had collapsed in the middle of the night, or had fallen down between the 2 trees I'd set him up on, and now I was sleeping on the floor. Surprised that I didn't get woken up more abruptly, as I thought that it may have hurt, but surprisingly no. The ground below me was very soft. It was warm. Too warm. It felt like squishy mud in a way. Though don't be fooled. All it took was for me to wake up just a tad bit more, gain a little bit more clarity. And yeah, believe me, this was no psychedelic, weird, trippy experience for me to tell you that the ground I was on, quote unquote, was breathing, dare I say. I woke up a little bit more and gained another sense, my hearing. "Oh shit!" I screamed. I frambled and scrambled to wriggle myself out of my sleeping bag and out of my hammock. I got on my headlamp around my head and whipped around and was horrified to see a butt-naked Herbert Ernie lying underneath of my hammock.
Shh, don't worry about me, Nick. Don't want to wake up the others. I found a mouse in the treehouse, so I'm gonna keep my mouse. Get a mouse, Sprat.
Herbert wasn't lying about the sprat part either, as his nitty was poking right into my hammock. And if you know what nitty is, then, yeah, I don't need to say it. You already know. Kind of dirty, but I'm not going to mention that. I guess this wasn't okay. Yeah. Anyway, Colin got out of his tent, asked to see what the fuck was going on, and let me just say that he may as well need therapy after that. Okay, come on, guys. We gotta ditch right now. We gotta run, I said. We all do just that, only grabbing the essentials like our wallets, phones, and car keys, leaving everything else behind. We booked it through the woods, not caring that we got our feet wet in the creek, all the way back to where we parked our car. "Quick, in the car," I said. Though, we got in the car and started up the engine. It was a bit of a catch, though. We didn't notice said catch until we were starting to pull out into the main road, but I looked in my rearview mirror and saw the trunk of my car opening and closing. "Oh no, what the fuck is it this time?" I said. "Did I forget to shut the trunk?" I pulled over on the side of the road, getting my flashlight back out, and was horrified to see the creepy clerk hiding in my trunk.
Don't mind me, boys,"
the creepy clerk said, extra groggy, as he appeared to be napping. He had a cabin-themed blanket and pillow back there, and seemed to sleep there for the night.
"My Ford Ruster's a little fly cramped. I promised the chief I'd keep us through hiking gear in there, and so I decided to get some Z's in here. But don't mind me, though. If we head on back to the Appalachian Trail Museum, I can show you boys my secret lounge. We gotta show you boys the pre-ritual initiation for National Hiking Naked Day."
"Okay, now fuck this," I said. I got on my phone and called the cops. 5 minutes later, the police arrived, and the creepy clerk was taken away. We all drove home in silence that night, and none of us said a word. We were all done with this fucking camping trip. Nothing really happened for the next few days, but after a few days, I got an update from the police. Apparently, they did a little scout, like a swoop of the 2 places. The first of said 2 places being the trail shelter on the AT we were on earlier. What they found in there, let's just say, feel bad for any other hikers that happened to be there. They found lots of dirty objects and some white substance coated in the bunks. So, I'm not going to say what it was. I'm sure you can guess. And then next was when they did a little swoop of the Appalachian Trail Shelter. Or the museum, actually, I should say. The creepy clerk's little bunker. They did indeed find a secret lounge in there. They found a bunch of beanbags, though. These beanbags were quite weird. They were designed specifically so they could fit butt cheeks, very chubby, extra large sized goodies. Well, okay, not goodies, but extra large sized pot bellies, should I say. Herbert Ernie was found in there too. He was doing the jelly worm dance. Butt naked still, of course. He had a raccoon head on his head, like a trapper, fur trapper in a way. I could not sleep for a while after that. And the police, they didn't do me any favors, sending me live pics because they needed it for evidence or whatnot. But yeah, that then concludes the Appalachian Trail Bootyworm.